Hey guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Rina the Wolffe and today I'm going to talk about toxic colleagues, toxic workplaces. I think I will just talk about toxic workplaces because that would cover toxic colleagues and management as well. So I consider myself lucky because in the past 10 years, it was very rare I had any issues, mostly with colleagues, with management. Well, that's a whole different story, but I consider myself lucky. In most cases, the teams I was in were great. I definitely felt the teamwork. Everybody wanted changes if things did not work out, things like that. I definitely felt support, which I think one of the pillars of a great team. But of course, there were some exceptions, and I actually really had to think about what makes a workplace toxic. Is it the colleagues, the environment, the management, your direct manager, or what makes a workplace toxic? So, when I say I had my own exceptions, it's really only a few. So when I started working more than 10 years ago, I was lucky. I had great teams for a long time. Even when I moved to the capital city, I had a great team, and then things started to fall apart. But the team and management had nothing to do with this. I felt lucky to be part of that particular team. And when I say it was it was not on the management, it was not on the direct management. So then my second finance job was, well, at first I felt good about everything. I could learn a lot about finance and I thought I was happy. Teamwork seemed to be great. If we did not agree on something, we vocalized it. That's where problems started, by the way. But my own problem did not start with that. So I already had 1 year of experience in finance, and the person who was supposed to be my colleague just started there like a couple of months ago. And because of this, she immediately felt that she is my superior. That's something I definitely cannot deal with. If we are colleagues, if we are on the same level, we are colleagues and we can ask each other to do something politely, not just give commands. But that was her idea, and I vocalized it. I didn't like it. I had other things to do. She wanted to give everything to me. But to be completely honest, I did work a lot. We had constant overtimes, at least 1 hour a day, that whole year, or maybe even more. Sometimes I did an extra 2 hours when I went home, and I did everything I could to clear out the invoices. So after a while, our relationship was just getting worse and worse, and I just could not bear with it. I couldn't deal with it. Not even the manager could deal with it, who decided to take her side, by the way. And this went without running any reports, really, about our works. Technically, all I could see all day that she was watching videos, and I was like, are you serious? While I had 2 other countries to take care of. So she left, claiming that she can't work with me, that I'm the one who can't work with others. And then the guy who came in her place just ran a quick report, and he was like, ooh, don't get mad, but... And I was like, yeah, it feels bad. I feel bad about this because I knew all along that I've done so much more. And she wanted me to be the bad guy this whole time. By the way, the general mood was not that great there. A lot of my colleagues were discontent with the conditions, especially with the overtime each and every single day. But then things started to clear up, and this was right before the pandemic. So things were going well, and I was like, no, you know what, it's okay. And I just felt like I've had enough of that I will never be good enough for my manager, things like that. So I moved on. After that, it was kind of a struggle for me. My next job was unbearable. I was promised to be trained. I wasn't. Then after that, it was still during the pandemic, so this was a fully remote job, by the way. Then I would not call it toxic. The team was great, really, but management had no idea what to do with me. My job description was not written in stone. Sometimes I had no idea what to do, and it wasn't enough. And I was like, are you kidding me? Are you seriously kidding me? And then this whole time tracker thing came in, and I was like, no. But I think the manager was not toxic there. She was just not a good manager. And when I say this, I am actually unsure if she had the experience in finance or just as a manager. But as a manager, she miserably failed. She had no idea how to lead people, how to lead meetings. And I was really disappointed by that whole thing. So I left. So after this, I had 2 very short careers still in finance. And that was like, these 2 were the most disappointing. So I got fired from both places. From the first place, I knew it would be a big task to do. And I was learning. I was learning a lot, by the way. I kept doing what had to be done. However, for some reason, the reports from one particular program did not implement well in Microsoft Excel. And I kept saying this multiple times, and nobody knew the answer. And I was just sitting there like, how am I supposed to know this answer? I joined like a month ago. And I felt like, let's be honest, I felt devastated. I knew what was about to come, and no one was there to help me. And I said, I know that the numbers are not good. And this is what I keep telling you guys each and every day now. So it did not take me by surprise when they said like, this is not going to work. I knew it was not going to work out because it was ridiculous. And instead of helping me, they were just like, no, it's not going to work like this. And I was like, okay, then it won't. And I'm happy about it won't. Then came the biggest disappointment in this whole system. How managers can actually lose their human side, so to say. But I think I have already talked about it. But just as a reminder, I started working. This was the time when offices reopened. So we could go and we could work from home. That was fine. When I could, I went to the office. When I did not feel like it, I was working from home, and I did my best. The software was new to me, but I was doing my best. Sometimes things did not go the way I wanted to. I was a little bit slow in the beginning, and then my girlfriend of the time got COVID, and I was like, listen guys, maybe I got it too. Whatever the chances, I just don't want to go to the office in the upcoming 2 weeks and spread it. So for that 2 weeks, I had a terrible headache. The whole 2 weeks, I was suffering from headache, and I knew it was the COVID headache. So I was like, listen, I'm going to work because I want to lower the numbers, but I will be slower than usual because I'm not feeling well. but I don't want to take off some days because I'm not that bad. It's just my headache. So then my manager came to me and he said, it is not going to be enough, so it would be the best if you would just pull yourself together, pick up the pace, things like that. And I was like, okay, sure, I'm going to do that. And I'm sorry, but I'm working on it. And then it was a long weekend. It was a national holiday in Hungary. And when we went back, I worked through more than half the day. I was really putting some extra effort in there. And then he was like, okay, bye. And I was like, are you seriously expecting me to work like during the weekend to prove myself? You gave me one warning. I was working while I was sick, while I was suffering, and you still decided that it's not going to work out without giving me a chance. So that was ridiculous. So all these things, all this negative experience in finance made me go back to IT, where I think I finally found my place. I'm currently happy. And when I went back to IT, I was a little bit afraid because level 1 service desk is technically customer service. I already talked a lot about this one particular workplace, but I loved being there before things started to collapse. And there at first, and I think my first year there was a definite success. I loved being there. We had a great team. The management was great. Everything went smoothly. Promises were made. Things like that, right? And when things started to fall apart, I just could not point a finger to one thing only because there were so many things. Maybe the thing that made this place toxic was the constant discontentment, the constant arguing, the constant complaints, the constant working. We could not take overtime, by the way, but that did not mean that during the day we did not have to take a lot of calls and chats. We felt overwhelmed because people left and they had never been replaced. There were changes in the management. There were changes in the mood. Projects were taken away because we needed availability. And another thing was, personally for me, I did not get on well with my second manager there. And I'm not saying he is toxic. This is an exception. I'm not saying he's toxic. Sometimes it just happens that two people are not compatible. It happens and it's normal. And it does not always have to work out. And that can be a good reason. That can actually be a wake-up call that we need to change something. So sometimes it happens, and what we can do is just think about it, whether it's worth it. Will it help us grow? Can we learn a little bit more of conflict resolution or emotion control? Can we actually believe that this will help us grow, or it will drain us completely? It's actually all in our heads, right? And attitude is what will make it go its way. So it's all on us. If we are not compatible with someone, I think we can work on that. Not forever, but we can work on that. And if we are just not willing to change things on our way, or at least try, things will remain the same. Now, toxic workplaces can be draining. They can be, and I experienced this, and we can be caught up in this vortex, right? We can be sucked in. And the next thing we notice is that we are amongst the naysayers. and it will affect our mood. And even when we come home, we will still feel uneasy because we know that something is not okay. But can I bring the change? Can the team bring the change? Or shall I just leave it all behind because it's not working out? Now, last time I did not quit because of the toxic environment or the constant discontentment. I was sucked in, by the way. There were some colleagues I kept complaining with. But the final decision was made because I did not feel a chance to grow further. And now I'm completely happy, but we will see. Okay guys, I actually did not expect this video to be this long, but please let me know if you had any experience with toxic workplaces, colleagues, management. I'm really curious about your experience and opinions, and if you like this video, give it a big old thumbs up and hit the subscribe button. It would mean a lot to me, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.